We got a Tracker 800 in. This is also going to fit the Arctic Textron Prowler Pro. We're going to do a quick installation overview for you guys. So we're going to mount this heater now in this Tracker 800. First thing you want to do is just kind of set this in here and get a feel for how it's going to sit in here. We send this foam piece in the kit, put that on here. We want to make sure that the foam covers this point and this point. And we're going to kind of push that all the way up against the glove box here. So we're going to set that there. And then what we're going to do is there's a ridge here. There's a framing bar right behind the firewall. And this is going to rest right on that ridge where the firewall starts to then bend down and in. And we're going to take a marker and just mark each corner of where this box rests against this ridge. So you can kind of see on this firewall, we marked those two corners here. This line is my is where this framing bar kind of ends, and we get that ridge. And then what you do is you take your bracket and you center it right on those marks and put it right on that line. And you're going to mark your 4 holes, and then use a 1/4-inch drill bit to drill out these holes. And then what you're going to do is you can have a partner push these bolts through from the back side, and then we can be on the front here, and we can kind of help start those bolts going into the heater. What's going to happen is we're going to sandwich the firewall between this bracket from the back side and this heater, and then it's just going to sit tight right on this firewall. Okay, so we got it fully mounted now. We ended up taking this top hood piece off too. It's a half dozen bolts, and it's a lot easier to kind of reach and get on the other side of this firewall. It's nice to have a partner on this side holding it tight against the firewall while someone else puts the bolts in from the back side. So now it's real firm, sandwiched right around this firewall, and that thing's not going anywhere. All right, so we got our heater installed, and now we're gonna run hoses. The hood panel, there's an opening right here, so these hoses will just flow right underneath that. We send a lot of extra slack, so don't pull them too tight. You want these things to kind of flow smoothly and not real sharply or tight, because we don't want this heater hose to kink at all. We tie into the return radiator line, the lower radiator line right here, the Y fitting. Make sure that splice is pointing toward the radiator, because we want this coolant to come back and enter the radiator line, keeping with the flow. So if the flow is going to the back of the machine, we need that splice pointed to the radiator, and then the hose needs to kind of wrap around and enter like that so it can keep flow to the back. Same thing with the inlet line here on the upper radiator hose. You're going to want the splice pointing toward the radiator as well, because it's coming from the engine to the radiator, and we want it to kind of come off like an exit ramp on a freeway. So we're going to tie in right here with that as well. So with this main dash piece off, the first thing you want to do is install all 4 of your circle louvers with a 2.5-inch hole saw. And then from the back side, you're going to want to cut out this small cubby hole. You can take the indent out first, and then go back in and kind of clean up around it. You just want to make sure that you have all the side pieces out. Then what you're going to do is take this plate that we included in the kit and set it in place. Pilot out your 8 rivet holes, and then install this face plate with the rivets that we provided. All right, so we're down to the end of our install. We have our 4 runs of duct that will connect to the back of our louver adapters. We have our 2 runs of heater hose that come right through this factory opening here and connect onto our heater core fittings. We have our wiring harness, which plugs right into our 12-volt supply here on the machine, and will go right into the back of our rocker switch. Just take this top dash piece, set it on, get everything connected, and the installation's complete.